Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Disney Trivia, Episode 1. I'm standing here in a parking lot because I want to talk to you about a very famous Disney star. Why am I in a parking lot? Because our star is not a person. It's a car. Do you remember the Love Bug? Yes, the Love Bug. Hi, Stacy.
Hi.
The Love Bug was, of course, a Volkswagen, and this is not a Volkswagen. This is a tribute vehicle we've prepared out of Stacy's Day Driver. But we wanted to talk all about Herbie the Love Bug today because he's one of our favorite Disney films. What's your favorite Disney film? You have one?
I'm going to say I like Herbie.
Herbie? Well, perfect, because the Love Bug is what we're talking about today. You know, there were 5 Love Bug films. Of course, 1969's The Love Bug, and then 1973's Herbie Rides Again, and then in 1977, Herbie went to Monte Carlo, and of course in 1980, the one that no one likes, I like it, but no one else seems to, Herbie Goes Bananas. There was also a TV series called Herbie the Love Bug from 1982 to 1983. They only made 6 episodes. And of course, the Lindsay Lohan Herbie, what's that one called? Herbie Fully Loaded in 2005. And there's a helicopter up there. We heard the Love Bug was in town. They remade The Love Bug in 1997 for the Sunday night show. Not such a hot film, though. Come over here. I want you to stand here so we can see some of the graphics on the car. You know, The Love Bug was not the original name of Gordon Buford's short story. The name of the short story was, you know what the name of the short story was? Car, Boy, Girl. And it was written in the early 60s by Gordon Buford, who said he got the idea growing up on a farm in Colorado. He had a horse that was very stubborn. Some days he did what he wanted, some days he didn't. And his dad had a car that some days would start and some days wouldn't. They'd go on family picnics, and Dad would say, I don't know if this car is going to make it back today. Sometimes it would, sometimes it wouldn't. It gave Gordon Buford this idea that machines had personalities like animals. So he wrote this story called Car, Boy, Girl. Walt Disney read this story and loved the concept. He said, we're buying the rights to this. In 1966, Walt Disney bought the rights to the story, Car, Boy, Girl, from Gordon Buford before the book was even published. He didn't even want the story to get out there lest he lose the concept and a competitor makes a story on film about a car with a mind of its own. So we needed a star, right? So we got, Walt Disney died, but before he died, one of the last official things he did was he got Dean Jones. He wanted Dean Jones to play in the movie. He discovered Dean Jones on Ensign O'Toole, which was a TV series from 1962 to 1963. They made 1 season of Ensign O'Toole. Walt loved Dean Jones from this series. Tried him out in That Darn Cat, 1965. The Ugly Dachshund in 1966 with a lovely Suzanne Plachette, who not as lovely as Stacy here. And then they made The Love Bug, and The Love Bug came out in 1968. Christmas Eve, 1968. The movie is erroneously credited with being the #1 film of 1969, but that's not true, because in 1969 the #1 film was
Butch
Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Isn't she smart? But because the movie was actually released, it had 2 releases. It had a limited release on Christmas of 68, making it a 1968 film. It's actually the #3 movie of 1968, behind 2001: A Space Odyssey and Funny Girl. But then it saw wide release in March of 1969. And, of course, it became a sensation, and everybody loves Herbie and the Love Bug. These graphics we have on the car, I had specially made from a decal guy who makes decals for racing cars, but they were you can get graphics like this for your Volkswagen if you want to customize yours. But if that 53 font is not correct, it just doesn't look right. I had these custom done These are taken from the actual props from the Disney studios, so they would be perfect. Incidentally, do you know where the 53 came from? Why he's number 53?
Yes.
Why don't you tell us if you know?
Don Drysdale.
Cy Young award-winning pitcher Don Drysdale, who pitched for the Brooklyn Dodgers and the Los Angeles Dodgers, was a favorite player of producer Bill Walsh, who produced the movie with Don DeGrody. Don DeGrody wrote the film, and you know where they got the name Herbie from? Herbie.
I bet you know.
I bet I do. Herbie's name came from Buddy Hackett. Buddy Hackett, who's in the film, he plays Tennessee Steinmetz, the mechanic in the film. Buddy Hackett had a routine in his Las Vegas act that had a joke about ski instructors named Wilhelm, and they were Swiss ski instructors. Wilhelm, Fritz, and Helmut. Thank you, Danke. And he said, and the punchline goes, Buddy Hackett says, "If you ain't got a Herbie, I ain't coming." So they liked the way Herbie sounded coming off of Buddy Hackett's lips. So Herbie it was. So there you have it. Herbie, the 53. We didn't discuss how it became a Volkswagen. You know why it was a Volkswagen? They didn't, in the book, it doesn't say, whoops, pardon me. Gordon Buford's book does not make any mention of a Volkswagen. So they didn't know what to do. They needed to find a car. Again, Bill Walsh needed to find a car that people could fall in love with. So they took a Volkswagen, a Volvo, a Triumph, and a couple of other cars, and they put them in the parking lot of the Walt Disney Studios. That very parking lot that we walked around when we went on the tour of the Disney Studios. And I knew when I was in that parking lot, I said, this is where Herbie was born, on this parking lot. And the studio executives watched as employees would come and go and how they reacted to the cars. And everybody came up and patted the Volkswagen. So Bill Walsh said, we're going to use a Volkswagen. We're going to number him 53, and we're going to name him Herbie. And the rest is history. And now we're going to take one last pass around this car. Am I forgetting anything?
I think you got a lot of Herbie history.
We got a lot of Herbie history in there. There were a number of films. Leave a comment below if you have a favorite Herbie film. Which one is it? We want to know. Was it Herbie Rides Again? Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo? Bananas? Or was it the Lindsay Lohan Herbie Fully Loaded? Whatever it was, we hope you enjoyed this look at Disney trivia with our Love Bug tribute car. Goodbye, Herbie.